Hey, you YouTube and Snapchat and fuckers. Welcome back to another installment of the Friday Wrap-Up. Well, made it through one more week, kids. And that means one more week closer to, I don't know, corona-free fucking lifestyle, if that should ever happen. So, before we get started, I'd like to tip my hat to the good folks in Kentucky over at Jim Beam, keeping me well lubricated all week, as you can see. It's been that kind of a week. So, we're just doing a little Jim Beam on the rocks today. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Sometimes you just gotta go basic. So, salud, to drink up and be somebody. So let's jump right in. We had a big crazy week. I debuted the new format last week, which seems to be a hit. I got a lot of good positive feedback. So, sorry kids, looks like it's staying. So, as I said last week, I'm going to post a link up to the show on YouTube. I'm sorry. There'll be a link on YouTube, obviously. But I'm going to post a link up to Snapchat so you can click on it and just go right to the YouTube page. Watch, like, subscribe, do whatever. And yeah, it wouldn't kill you guys to just like a video or two. It does help out the channel a little bit, gets a little bit more notice. Shit, I have a couple of fucking haters out there. Don't hesitate and clicking the dislike button. So, you guys like it, click the like button, all right? So, before we get started with tonight's show, I'm just going to put a little disclaimer out there. Tonight's show is going to be obviously, it's the Friday wrap-up show. It's a wrap-up of the week, and the big focus on everything this week is the upcoming election. So, I'd be remiss if I ignored it. So I'm going to have to weigh in. I'm going to have to give you guys my opinion. You're probably going to like it. You may not like it. I don't really give a shit. It's my show. But if you're one of those sensitive little snowflakes, that gets very easily offended, and you're a liberal without a cause, and you don't understand why you're voting for who you're voting for, then please do everybody a fucking favor and click off now. You can come back next week or the week after, see if you like the show, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna probably lay into a few people. So, like I said, little public disclaimer, okay? If you're a sensitive little snowflake, fuck off now, okay? So, there, you've been warned. So, this week's Corona update. Governor Nostrils, our friend. He, now, last week and the week before, I said how he blamed the Jewish community for the recent spikes in New York City or New York State for, recent Corona spikes. And fucking world is going to come to an end because you know what? I didn't think he was wrong. And I'm not picking on the Jews. Okay, settle down. Fine, he's coming after us again. No. It's just the Hasids. They ruin everything. But so I didn't think his accusation was unfounded. Okay, it wasn't incorrect. It's not an accusation. It's based in scientific fact. Cuomo is like, oh, we follow the numbers. Well, he followed the numbers right to a fucking Jewish community. Okay? So, these Jews don't get it. Not the regular ones. The Hasids. They don't fucking understand. So, this week, he had to shut down a 10,000-person Hasidic wedding that was supposed to take place in Rockland County. Some big rabbi in Brooklyn, his son was getting married, so all the Hasidim have to show up from all over the fucking world. Okay, 10,000 people they were going to have at a wedding. But Makikatsu, these people, they don't fucking understand. This is a pandemic, okay? You can't have that many fucking people in one area, all right? That's a super spreader. So these morons put this shit on social media of all fucking places, so of course New York City Sheriff's Department caught wind of it. It got escalated up to the state. Cuomo's task force shut it down. So they're going to have a smaller wedding. People are going to have to, zoom in. Whatever. That's what they should have fucking done to begin with. Listen, first of all, as an aside, Jew or no Jew, if someone invites you to a fucking wedding or a bar mitzvah or a birthday party or anything that's in a catering hall, they're fucking retarded. Okay, here's how you RSVP by that. You take the envelope, you take a shit in the envelope, you seal it, don't lick it, just seal it, and send it back. That's how you respond. Because these people are fucking clueless. They're brain dead. They're assholes. You're going to get sick. No question about it. So they shut down a 10,000 person Jewish wedding. So then the Jews filed a fucking lawsuit against the state alleging anti-Semitic discrimination. Imagine. I mean, just last year, when that psychopath broke into a rabbi's house, I don't know, I think he was an escapee from some mental institution. Some large black guy. He kicked in. I think it was in Rockland County. He kicked in the fucking door of some rabbi, and he knew they were Jews. He targeted them, and he fucking hacked them all up with a machete. Now Cuomo went right to their defense. They was, what a good person he is. He loves us. And now a year later, they're saying he's an anti-Semite. What, he's a Nazi. What, he's singling us out. This is anti-Semitic discrimination. This is religious persecution. Why are they doing this? Please, they're fucking assholes. They don't get it. If you follow the science, you follow the numbers. I'm following the numbers. You go. It leads you right to these fucking communities. So by curtailing their activity, and he's not saying you can't have a wedding. He's not saying you can't have any kind of religious gathering. Just limit it to whatever the specified amount is. No more than 10 people, then no more than 10 people. No more than 50 fucking people per catering hall. No more than 50 people per catering hall. I mean, it's not complicated. Okay? And of course, all of this is really because Mayor Muppet Hands has been as useful as a limp dick in a sperm bank when it comes to enforcement of fucking city regulations. I mean, he just stands there with his thumb up his ass, tweedling his nipples, and he just let everybody else fucking do your job for you. Okay? He's money well invested. Speaking of shutdowns, 3 new restaurants on the island have closed. One of them being some little spot out in Suffolk County in Patchogue, something Park Manor Inn or some shit like that, whatever. There was another restaurant in Baldwin, but the big one here is Leonard's of Great Neck. Lost their fucking liquor license. Now, Leonard's of Great Neck is a large catering. They're actually in The Sopranos. They shot Johnny Sack's kid's wedding in Leonard's of Great Neck. I've been to Leonard's of Great Neck numerous times, plenty of weddings. The food there's delightful. It's a Long Island wedding institution. They had too many fucking people at a wedding, and this was going back in September. And they just the state just found out about it, closed them down this week. About September 25th, 26th, something like that. They had over 50 people. Shut them down. Okay? Place has been there for a fucking 100 years. Gone. So, moving on. Governor Nostrils. Now he doesn't get enough exposure, I guess, in his daily briefing. So now he's starting to do the nighttime talk show circuit. So he's been on Stephen Colbert. He's been on The Daily Show. He's been all over the fucking place like a cheap prostitute. So he went on The Daily Show the other day, and he was saying how the pandemic has affected his love life and therefore has made it difficult to date. I'm sure that's the reason. Couldn't be any other reason. But never fear, because Chelsea Handler went on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel or one of these fucking talk shows, and she offered to flatten his curves. He's got a little Cuomo crush. I've seen Chelsea Handler naked. I mean, that's no fucking feat. I mean, everyone's seen Chelsea Handler naked. Just Google Chelsea Handler and her tits pop up. But I'd be more concerned about catching something else from her other than the coronavirus. I'm just saying, So there you go, Andrew. Hard up for a date. Chelsea Handler will flatten you out a little bit there. So, also movie theaters in New York are opening up again. I don't know if I should be excited about this. I mean, first of all, the idea of going to a movie theater when there's no coronavirus, it makes my blood pressure go up because there's people there, and I don't like people, whether there's a pandemic or not. Secondly, what the fuck are you gonna watch? They haven't come out with a new movie in 7 or 8 months, okay? Everything's going direct to streaming. What are you going to do, watch Star Wars again? They're going to re-release that piece of shit Avengers fucking movie? That last fucking Avengers movie was garbage. I mean, anything Disney touches, they fucking ruin. So what the fuck are you gonna? People are like, oh, you're not gonna go to the movies. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna see? The same fucking movies you're streaming all fucking year long on Netflix. What are you gonna say? Okay, stay home. So there's your Corona update, and you know what's coming up next, kids. Woo woo! Crazy Train's about to leave the station. Here we go. So we all saw the debate last night. I mean, if you didn't see the debate last night, I don't know if you're probably living under a fucking rock. I mean, you might have maybe tried to watch the football game last night, which I'll get to later on in the show. I didn't forget that. But the debate. So the last debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So there was a lot of talk this week about the format. They were gonna, to make it a little bit more civil. Each speaker had 2 minutes to talk. There was gonna be a mute button on the mic, which they only used once, believe it or not. And most people didn't catch it, but they did use it. They used it once on Donald Trump, but you could still hear him over it. So that's why I think a lot of people didn't catch it. But, I thought this was going to be a shit show, but I have to say something. I didn't mind the new format. I thought it was a little bit better. And I think mainly because the moderator did an okay job. Kristen Welker, I think her name was. I don't know what her political affiliation is. I don't give a fuck what her political affiliation is. But she seemed to handle her moderator duties appropriately. Okay? I mean, she did interrupt Trump a little bit more than she did Joe Biden, but Trump could be a little, if you let him go, he'll just keep going. So I'm not really faulting her too much for that. But she was respectful. She was non-combative, like every other fucking moderator. They always want to combat. They usually go after the president and they softball Biden. She didn't really do that. So she was very respectful. She was non-combative. She wasn't trying to debate anybody, and she didn't really give Biden a lot of softball questions. They were pretty moderate. She did press him on the ethics of his foreign business ties with his son, which I'm going to go into in a little bit. But so I think she did an okay job, and because of that, I think the debate had a lot more flow to it. So that being said, let's jump right in, shall we? So, like every other fucking debate, they first like to start off with the whole coronavirus shit. Now, listen to me. The coronavirus is not Trump's fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's China's fault. The president said that last night. I'm quoting, okay? But, they go after Trump like if he wasn't president, this would have never fucking happened type of shit. Like, I don't understand what they think this man should have done. Truthfully. You ask Biden his plans, well, I would tell everyone to wear a mask. And then, I'll listen to the scientists. Yeah, he's going to listen to the doctors and shut everything down. Okay? And that's, he basically said, well, he has no plan. So anything he said is shit that we've already done under the Trump administration. Okay? So, I mean, everybody can armchair quarterback. I mean, I could sit here and, after a fucking football game or after a baseball game and tell you how I would have done everything better than the manager or the quarterback or the catcher or the pitcher. But the truth of the matter is, it's because I'm watching it and then commenting after the fact. You're not in the fucking trench. So, anything they say about this shit is utter bullshit. And if you think that voting Biden in is going to somehow magically make the coronavirus disappear, then you're a fucking idiot. Okay? Listen, I'm going to say something. People get twisted when I say it, and they go, oh my God, how can you say such a thing? But it's the fucking truth. And I'll always give it to you straight. So, just because it's your right to vote doesn't mean you should. And here's what I mean by that. Not everybody's smart enough to fucking vote. Yeah, I said it. There's a lot of fucking idiots out there. Most of them are liberals. I'm sorry if you're listen, if you're a liberal and you can give me a fucking straight up argument without mentioning Trump as to why you think Biden would be the best candidate, given you understand his platform, then I'll listen. But most of these fucktards don't get it. They think it's a fucking popularity contest. It's not. Because the popular vote don't mean dick. The fucking electoral vote is what gets you in as a president. So you could be the most popular fucking guy in the world, the popular person in the world. Don't fucking matter. Look at Hillary Clinton. She won the popular vote, right? Yeah, because there's a lot of fucking millennial retards out there. But she didn't get the electoral vote. And that's what counts, kids. Not popularity. Electoral. Okay? You understand? Now, people don't get that. They shouldn't vote. Okay? If you think that Biden's going to magically wave a fucking wand and make the coronavirus disappear, you're a fucking idiot. If you think wearing a mask, that's his plan, wear a mask. Okay, great. That's fantastic. It works for now. It's like a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Well, how long do we wear the mask for? 2021, 2022, 2025? Until fucking death? I mean, when? When does it end? So, he's got no plan. That's my point. He's just reiterating shit that the Trump administration already started. Look, you know, first thing out of his mouth is, well, he knew how bad it was, and he didn't want to say nothing because he didn't want to panic the American people. The American people don't panic. Really? Okay. Let me take you a little trip back in time. American people don't panic. When the president or when the coronavirus first hit our shores, Trump closed fucking travel to China. He caught flack from that, from Biden, from all the Democratic constituents, saying he was being fucking racist and blah, 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 blah. He tried to kill travel to Europe early on. They stopped him. I mean, he eventually got it through, but it was too late. Okay? So if that didn't tell you how severe it was, I don't know what the fuck you need him to come out and go, oh my God, we're all going to die. No. Okay? He did his job. He kept his cool because the American people did panic. Even when he didn't tell them how severe it was. Here, case in point. You couldn't find fucking toilet paper for months. People panic bought toilet paper. They panic bought fucking paper towels. You couldn't find meat. You couldn't find bread. You couldn't find cold cuts, pasta, canned soup. I mean, the supermarkets looked like they got raided. It was like a third world country. People don't panic. Could you imagine if you told them how fucking severe it was right off the bat? They'd be looting and rioting in the streets. So the president did the right thing. He probably did it under advisement as well. Okay? That wasn't just his decision. He was briefed. The people who briefed him told him how bad it was, and they probably said, Mr. President, maybe we shouldn't run right out and tell them how fucking bad it is. A little increments because people panic. Every time there's a fucking snowstorm, people go to the supermarket, they buy all the milk, eggs, and bread. Like they're never going to see French toast again. Don't tell me the American people don't panic. Okay? This guy's full of shit. He's 100 years old. He's disconnected from the world. He's borderline fucking senile. Don't give me this shit, okay? He gives you this, throws off this, sweet little grandpa type of vibe. It's all an act, okay? I will say this. Biden sounds like Jimmy Stewart. Every time he starts talking, I picture this guy, okay? He sounds like Jimmy Stewart. He's... people, I just want to tell you, I'm an American president. I don't care if you're a blue state or a red state or Americans. I'm gonna represent you. That's all I hear is fucking Jimmy Stewart. And by the way, Jimmy Stewart was a registered Republican and a fucking brigadier general in the Army Reserve, in case you didn't know. So, they had different camera angles going during the debate, and I gotta say, I didn't realize it, but Trump's a little fat in the ass. I think since this whole fucking between the pandemic and the election, I think he's been stress eating a few more cheeseburgers. He's gotten fatter. Like he needs a diet. Okay, if he wins this, he should really consider, going on a low carb diet, working out a little bit. I mean, he's getting a little fat in the ass. I mean, I'm just saying, not that that's a reason to not vote for him. Just, he's got a little fat in the ass. That's all. But I think overall, Trump really conducted himself properly. He hit on some key points. He backed Biden into a corner more than a few times, and you can always tell when Joe Biden gets backed up. One, he looks a little confused and flustered. You can tell by his body language. some of you people are not street people. You don't know how to read fucking body language. Trust me, I'm a street guy. I know how to read body language. Okay, I know what someone's thinking just by the way they cock their head, contort their body. The guy was worried. He had him on the ropes a few times. And then he does that stupid smile, like he's trying to he looks like he's laughing, but it really looks like he's trying to hold in a shit. So Trump had him on the ropes a few times. Okay, when he pressed him about, hey, you've been in office 47 fucking years. How come you haven't done any of the shit that you say you're gonna do now? Why now? All of a sudden, and he did that to Hillary Clinton. She didn't have an answer either. Okay, he says you've been a senator for 30 some odd years. How come? He says you were just vice president 4 years ago. Why didn't you do anything then? And Biden's answer was, well, we had a predominantly Republican Congress. And he goes, yeah, and you got to convince him, Joe. So it's a valid point. Okay, whether you hate Trump, love Trump, that's a valid fucking point. And that's what I mean by these. Trump even said, he goes, I'm not a career politician. I ran only because you guys fucked everything up so bad. Sure, he's not. Because he goes after people on both sides of the aisle. There's a lot of people in the Republican Party that would not like to see Donald Trump become president again. Okay? They allege Russian interference and all this other bullshit. Listen, if you think that we're so fucking weak as a country, digitally or whatever, that we could let the Russians infiltrate us without us knowing, or to influence a fucking an election. Come on, please. That's all fairy tale bullshit. And if it is actually happening, it's happening with the government's knowledge, and they're looking the other way. Because bottom line, countries like Russia, Iran, all these countries that they're saying are now alleging, interference, they don't want to see Trump president. They don't, because he's a loose cannon. The guy's fucking nuts. Okay, they'd rather see somebody like Biden who they could bribe, who they can corrupt. I mean, democratic ideals really fall right in line with socialistic ideals. Putin even said that. He'd rather see Joe Biden president than Donald Trump. So stop with this fucking election interference from the Russians. What is this, 1982? All of a sudden the Russians are after us? Give me a fucking break. Okay? Now, getting on to the big elephant in the room. Hunter Biden, Joe's son, the laptop, right? So there's this fucking laptop that Biden's son dropped off at some repair shop in Delaware. Now, I know it sounds a little nuts. I thought it was a little nuts too. Until, you start reading a little bit more into it. First of all, the guy's a fucking career crackhead. His brain's scrambled. Listen, I think Joe Biden, as a human, okay, as a father, he worries about his kids. He had, a couple of hardships and stuff like that with the death of his first wife and daughter in a car accident and so on. So I think he's got a soft spot for his kids. To the point where it's really a detriment to him. Okay, and considering that he may not have all his fucking faculties up there, I don't think he's really cognizant of what his fucking kids are doing. He's got this one kid who's just a black sheep, and I think he feels a little responsible, whatever. So Hunter Biden drops his computer off. Now they're saying, well, it's Russian interference. And Biden even said that last night. So again, clearly this guy isn't very well informed, because the director of national intelligence came out a couple days ago and said, no. This is not Russian interference. The laptop is legitimate. It was legitimately Hunter Biden's. It was a MacBook, so it backs up all your text messages on your phone. Okay, you gotta be careful with this fucking technology shit, because there's always a record of it somewhere. Okay, so on the computer they found photographs and videos of Biden doing drugs with hookers, and apparently there was some underage sex going on, and more importantly, text messages and emails that basically implicate Joe Biden and the Burisma Ukrainian dealings, and also private businesses in China, where, okay, just in exchange, they figured out, the big guy, the code-weighting big guy, was referenced to Joe Biden. And they were saying that, shares and monies would be held by Hunter for Joe, which means there's no direct payment to Joe Biden, but he's aware of the dealings that are going on. He influenced them. He met with people, even though he said he didn't, so he committed perjury and blah, 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 blah. You can Google all this shit. I don't have to sit here and lay it all out for you. But bottom line is this. One, the FBI was in possession of this laptop in 2019 during the fucking Trump impeachment trials. Remember I said it was sleight of hand. So it never came to light. They cover it up. Democratic double standard. When Biden got pressed by Kristen Welker, he got flustered and annoyed. Rather than deny it, he goes, "They said I didn't do anything wrong." So, which means he's just admitting to it. And because the feds really didn't press the investigation, because if they did, the Democratic Party's prize pony wouldn't have been able to run. So they squashed it. They covered it up. Apparently, they've had this fucking thing in their possession since 2019. They said that there was an alleged investigation over child pornography or something like that. I guess with Hunter Biden, these things came up. State police are now in possession of copies of the hard drive. But I mean, you know what's going to happen with this? Nothing. It's going to die on the vine. The feds are going to cover it up. They're going to squash it just like they did with Hillary Clinton and the fucking server. Okay? So every fucking person that the Democratic Party put out front to run has fucking red in their ledger, and it's not good red. This guy, there's two problems with him. One, he committed treason. Quid pro quo. Tax evasion. They scream about Trump's taxes. Let's see fucking Hunter Biden's taxes. Let's see Joe Biden's taxes. Okay, because Biden didn't take direct payment from China and from the Ukraine. Instead, it went to Hunter for Joe, so Joe got the cash. That's tax evasion, people. Okay, the same shit that they're trying to accuse Donald Trump of. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, and Don Jr., Eric Jr. were involved in business dealings overseas, and Trump interceded on them. He knew about them. He talked to people, but they would crucify the fucking guy, and rightfully so. It's abuse of power. Okay? So, but because it's Joe Biden, that's okay. Gets away with it. And he even said, he goes, they said I didn't do nothing wrong, which means you're just going back on what you said. You said you weren't involved. You had no knowledge of it. Now there's proof of it. You're trying to say it's Russian interference. And then on top of that, you say, I didn't, they said, the investigation said I didn't do anything wrong. Come on, dude. I mean, am I the only one who catches this shit? I mean, I can't be the fucking smartest guy in the room all the time. So, you got basically what you got is running another crooked politician. Just like the Clintons, like the Bushes, okay? Crooked politician. So do you vote a guy in who's not a crooked politician? Or do you vote a guy in who's been in office 47 fucking years and the only thing he really is good at is stealing money? You do what you want, okay? Like I said, if you could tell me why you want to vote this guy in without mentioning Trump's name, I'll listen. If you understand what his platform is. So that brings me to my next thing. His tax plan. Have you seen this shit? This thing, it makes no sense to me. So he's going to fucking crush people with taxes in the middle of a fucking pandemic, which is at the tip of a recession. This is how he's going to fucking fix the recession? He says somebody in Wall Street told him this was a good idea. I don't know who told him that, okay? I think maybe he's hearing voices in his head. Because nobody on Wall Street thinks this is a good idea. So you got people out of work. Unemployment rate is through the fucking roof, and that's because of Corona. No other reason other than that. Okay? So your solution is, let's raise taxes for everybody. So he's going to do away with the Trump tax cuts. That alone's a fucking tax increase. New York State, 58% tax, 58% tax barrier. If you're in the city, you're going to get hit with 62%. Jersey and California, 60, 62, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, 50 Cent threw out a funny tweet. He goes, I don't care if Trump's racist. And I go, fuck this shit. I'm voting for Trump. He's right. It's not a popularity contest. You understand? I mean, just look at these it's difficult enough to live. Okay? I do okay. I make just enough to be broke. All right? You can't live with these kind. So he wants to fucking tax the shit out of people. He wants to bring back Obamacare under the Biden Care Act. So he wants to reinstate the fucking mandate. So there you go. There's another tax burden for you. He wants to forgive student debt, which, that becomes an even bigger burden to taxpayers. Okay, and he wants to fucking do a green initiative and defrag he supports fracking in Pennsylvania, and he wants to dismantle the oil industry. So you know what that means? Your prices of oil are going to go through the fucking roof. Okay? A tank of gas is going to cost you $6 a gallon as opposed to $2 a gallon. So explain to me how this is going to fucking make sense. Oh, you want the moon, Mary? I'll throw a lasso around and pull it down for you. And then you could swallow it, see? And then the moonbeams will shoot out your fingertips and your toes and the ends of your hair. And then we're going to build big, beautiful electric refueling stations down the highway, see? And then you pull up with your electric car and some fellow will plug it in for you. And we're gonna raise people's taxes. And they'll pay their fair share, and we're going to reap the rewards, and that's going to fix everything. And this guy's out of it. Che cazzo, he's fucking stunado. Listen. I don't care if you think Trump is a racist. I mean, everybody says he's a racist, but they don't say how. Okay? There's nothing racist that the guy's done, but, I mean, Biden, on the other hand, has put in place, criminal bills that, really just, hammered the fucking black and Latino community to death. But that's, of course, we're going to forget about that because Biden likes to say that didn't happen, and he thinks that that's reality. So bottom line here is this. I don't give a shit, okay, if Trump's running around the fucking White House shirt cocking it, okay? Just swinging his dingle at everybody. I don't care if he shits on little children's heads, if he takes fecal matter and throws it at people, starts vomiting on them, kicks Chinamen in the head. I don't care. I don't care if he's running around with a fucking hood on his head. Bottom line is this. This is not a fucking popularity contest. This is about dollars and cents. It's business. You understand? It's not personal. It's business. So you got one guy who wants to tax the fuck out of everybody, dismantle an industry that's been around for hundreds of years for some fucking pipe dream. Okay, yeah, it's nice to have a green initiative. You don't dismantle the oil industry. So he basically said, I'm gonna tax the shit out of you. I'm gonna dismantle the fucking oil industry. I'm gonna promote a government that's a socialist government that masquerades as democracy. Or you could vote in a guy who has given us tax cuts that put more money in the pockets of middle-class families. You vote Biden in with his tax incentives or his tax increases, there'll be no more middle class. We'll all be fucking poor. Okay? That's it. The poverty level is going to go from here to here. Okay, there's going to be no jobs. There's going to be no infrastructure. It's all fucking lobbyist bullshit. So you can vote one guy in who's going to do the right thing, Trump, or you can vote this fucking imbecile in who doesn't even know what fucking day of the week it is, just so he has a license to steal. He's compromised. You understand? Okay? He's compromised on the whole fucking Hunter Biden thing and the fact that this kid's a goddamn junkie and possibly a pedophile. He could be bought. He could be sold. He could be bribed. All right? You can't bribe a billionaire. Hasn't happened yet. So, bottom line is this. If you're voting, understand who you're voting for and understand what's going to happen when you do vote them in. You vote Biden in, and Trump's right. You're going to have a fucking depression like you've never seen. Okay, your 401ks that you've built up over the years, you worked hard, are going to be fucking gone because he's going to decimate the economy with his tax increases and his industry attacks. Okay? You vote Trump in, and we'll come out of this pandemic. Okay, we'll remain a democracy. Biden, it'll be a socialistic government masquerading as a fucking democracy. You're going to see a lot of shit go sideways. I personally don't know which way this election's going to go because it is pretty tight. I don't go based on what last year's results were. I don't go based on polls. I looked at the real polls this morning. The fucking bookies in Vegas. They gave Trump a 92% chance of winning this. Okay, not bad. After last night's debate, 1 out of 9 bets favored Biden. So, which means out of 9 people who bet the presidency, 1 person bet Biden to win, the other 8 bet Trump. So, which means on a voting basis, that's pretty tight. Again, like I said, not a popularity contest. So what really has to happen here is Trump has to flip at least 2 blue states in order to have enough electoral votes to crush this. And that's where we're at. Okay, next stop on the crazy train. New Yorker magazine suspends a reporter, one of the top reporters, Jeffery Toobin, who's also the chief legal analyst for CNN, for jerking off during a fucking Zoom meeting. Okay? Did you hear that? So this guy gets on. At this point, I don't understand why this is still happening. You're on a Zoom call. Why would you think that that is a good time to just start rubbing one out? What, I mean, you have a thing against your social worker? Cover the camera, shut it off. He just thought he had his camera off, or that it wasn't on. I mean, I don't know how you would think that. And he just whipped out his thing and just started fucking yanking his crank. Right there. He must have been looking at porn. I can tell you how this happened, because he pulled something else up, and that pretty much covers the Zoom screen, so he didn't realize his camera was on and that they could see him. So he must have been looking at fucking porn, forgot that he was on a fucking meeting, and just starts tugging his pud. This is the shit that goes on. And by the way, he's a registered Democrat, so these are the fucking people who vote. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Okay, sports update. The New York Giants. Oh, dear God in heaven. This is a perfect representation of the Giants season. I give up. I give up on football. So last Sunday, the Giants played Washington. They played an okay game. They won, but they won on luck. Strictly fucking luck. And it's because Washington couldn't return a touchdown in the last few seconds of the game to win the game. Giants got lucky. So the Giants beat a team that was equally as bad as them. Almost. They were Washington was a 1-4 team at the time. Giants were 0-5. And these motherfuckers are celebrating like they just won the fucking Super Bowl. They're giving the coach the game ball. They're high-fiving each other. They're tickling their taints. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I said, you won 1 game. Settle down. You're tying for last place. What are you so happy about? So then last night's game, and then Cowboys lost on Monday. They lost their quarterback. You know, they said the coach is a fucktard. So they lost on Monday to, I think, the Cardinals they played. And Giants played the Eagles last night. Now, the Eagles are a tough team. I mean, every team in this division is just fucking terrible. But, you know, as far as things go, the Eagles, I think, were 1-4-1. Okay, when they went into the game last night against the Giants. They were playing in Philadelphia, tough town. And if the Giants would have beat the Eagles, they would have been tied first place for the division because the Cowboys lost, right? So you have one job. That's it. Now Carson Wentz is a good fucking quarterback. The Eagles are a tough team. The Giants had the fucking lead up until the fourth quarter. And because they play like a bunch of fucking blind retards, they lost. Let me run this down for you, okay? First of all, if anyone saw their quarterback, Daniel Jones, tried to run an 80-yard fucking touchdown by himself. You must have been watching old clips of Eli Manning, okay? Because his receivers, I don't know where the fuck they went, okay? And his linemen don't understand the concept of creating a pocket around the quarterback so that you don't fucking get sacked. I mean, he got sacked so bad last night. I think it was the beginning of the fourth quarter. He didn't even see it coming. He's wide open. He's looking for one of his receivers. His linemen aren't fucking defending him, and boom, he got flattened. So he didn't have a pocket. So he said, fuck it. He ran the hole. He ran 80 fucking yards. Well, I shouldn't say that. He ran about 70. For the last 5 yards, it's like the wheels came off the wagon. Like he turned into Phoebe. He fucking fell. He stumbles and falls down fucking 5 yards from the end zone. I mean, all he had to do was reach out and hit the fucking end zone. I mean, thankfully on the next play, they ran it in for a touchdown. But this is the kind of fucking bullshit. So anyhow, they get the lead. Right? So they have all they got to do is play defense for 4 fucking minutes, right? They fumble the ball. Fucking Philadelphia returns it for a touchdown. They're 1 point away from losing. All they had to do was play fucking defense. They stopped the Eagles at the line from a touchdown, right? With like 30 seconds in the game, they stopped them at the line, and then somebody on the Eagles got a fucking 15-yard penalty. So now they're back 15 fucking yards. So they held them at the line for 2 plays from scoring a touchdown. Eagles get a fucking penalty. Now they're 15 yards back. There's 29 seconds in the game. Like a stupid ass, I'm sitting there watching this because I flipped back over to it after the debate, and I says, there's no fucking way. There's no way that they're going to fucking return this ball for a touchdown. Giants got it. It's like the Giants don't know how to play football. They're not covering the end zone. Wentz fucking throws a long ball. The Giants they watched it go over their head. It gets returned for a touchdown. They win the game. 29 fucking seconds left. You gotta believe. You believe this shit? I'm done. Done with football. Hockey season can't come fucking soon enough. Last I checked, the NHL season was supposed to start December 1st. I think they pushed it back to January 1st. Which gives me a little bit of hope. I mean, I got to wait a little longer than I want to, but it gives me a little hope. Maybe, I might be able to get to a hockey game. I mean, I probably have to wear a fucking hazmat suit, put a garbage bag over my fucking head, breathe through a straw that won't be plastic. It's going to be paper. But I might be able to get to a hockey game. I got hope. Hope, a little bit. I mean, that's all I got, because I know the fucking Rangers are going to do nothing. So, there's your sports update. Oh, by the way, one little quick tidbit. The entire Las Vegas Raiders starting offensive line is now quarantined for the coronavirus. So, there you go. So, that brings us to your favorite part of the show, the point where I make all my little quirky observations about life. So, Halloween is coming up, in case you couldn't tell by the shirt. Okay? And, Nassau County, I don't know about the rest of New York State, they're doing this thing called Purple Pumpkins, where you print out a picture of a purple pumpkin and you stick it in the fucking window, and that means that your home is practicing safe corona practices when it comes to distributing Halloween candy. Look. Nobody's licking the fucking candy and it's not, everything is all wrapped. Nobody gives out loose candy anymore. It's not 1920. If you're nervous about having your kids trick-or-treat, I mean, yeah, they're going to have to wear a mask and all that shit. Keep them home. Tell them Halloween's canceled. It's that simple. I look for fucking signs with pumpkins in the way. Give me a fucking break already. Jesus Christ. So, to further my point about holidays being canceled, Santa Claus will not be at Macy's this year. 159 years he's been at Macy's. I one time upset every kid in Macy's. I was about 5 or 6. Santa Claus's beard got stuck on the button of my jacket, and then I hopped off his lap. I ripped his beard off, and everybody in Macy's started to cry at once. And I didn't realize what was happening. My mother dragged me out of the store. This was in Herald Square. And I still have the beard, and I remember being on 34th Street, and I went, "Hey, Mommy, look!" And I had the fucking, his beard hanging. My mother was mortified. But yeah, so Santa Claus won't be at Macy's this year. First time 159 years. Instead, he'll be virtual. So, kids, I hate to tell you, Christmas is canceled. Santa Claus ain't coming to your fucking house. Okay? Santa Claus is taking the fucking year off because you don't want to get the coronavirus. So, you can stop being good. Okay? If adults don't have to be good, that they're out there rioting and looting, go ahead, go nuts. Santa Claus ain't coming either way. So, go rob a fucking car or something. Another little update in New York. That fucking plastic bag ban is back. Okay, remember this? They banned plastic bags for a while, then there was a lawsuit, so they brought them back. Now they're banning again. All because some fucking asshole whale all the way on the Pacific had to go get a plastic bag stuck in its fucking blowhole. Okay? Alright? Because someone, oh my god, the whales. You know what? Whales are supposed to be fucking smart. You see a plastic bag, swim around it, you fucking retarded animal. So because a whale gets a fucking bag stuck in its blowhole and chokes, I now have to pay 5 cents for paper, or I gotta carry around a fucking bag full of bags. I forgot about this shit. I went to the supermarket on Monday. I walk in, okay. I didn't have any bags with me, so I had to spend the fucking nickel for a paper bag that you pick it up, the fucking bottom falls out, it's all ripped up, and then if you want to double bag it, that's a dime. I mean, I get guts to get the fuck out of here. Don't I have to remember enough shit now? I gotta leave the house with a mask. I gotta leave the house with this hand sanitizer. Now I gotta bring fucking bags with me. And then if I don't, I gotta spend my... it's too much. It's too much. So... that's been your Friday wrap-up, okay? So enjoy your weekend. Don't aggravate people. More importantly, don't aggravate. You see me, go the other way, okay? And I'll see you when I see you.